All right, guys. Exciting week upcoming. We're in the middle of a Monday. We got a special guest on today, Chase Lucas. Chase, where are you at, brother?
Right here. Can you hear me okay?
Got you loud and clear. I'm gonna spotlight
Sweet.
you for everyone, bro. And by the way, I'm gonna give Chase some compliments in a second here. Chase has a business partner, Tristan, and just to keep the call smooth, I have Chase on today. But much of the accolades that Chase gets, right? It's a 50-50 partnership. You guys do everything together. And dude, I wanted to have you on. Your team growth has been unbelievable. What you're doing on the recruiting side of the business and getting agents moving, just doing everything the right way. You and I spend some time together. All of your questions are always based on how you can help agents win at a higher level. So you're leading selflessly, which, you're demonstrating people over profit every single day inside your business. That means a ton to me and the leadership team. Gabe, if you want to spotlight yourself, spotlight Paul, Mike, feel free. That'd be good. But Chase, specifically, man, I'm watching what you're doing on social media. And dude, I don't think anybody doesn't see what you're doing. If not, they live under a rock and they're not on Instagram a whole lot or TikTok. But you got your face all over the place, dude, and it's really real. It's authentic. Somebody muted me. You're not grandstanding. You're doing the business the right way. I think what's really great to see, man, and I say this to a lot of young entrepreneurs, you're going to attract what you are. That's very, very true. But you're also going to attract what you tell the world that you are. Does that make sense? So, who you are and how you lead in your daily life and how you lead your business, man, it should be very similar to what you put out on social media. How else in the world is anybody going to know who you are? And how are you going to attract the people that you're trying to inside your business? I think you're doing a great job of that. So, Chase,
Appreciate that.
we haven't had you on in a minute. So, take some time. Got a ton of new faces on. Tell everybody about your business a little bit, how long you've been in the game, what your business is doing today, and really what the last 6, 12 months has looked like for you.
Yeah, yeah. No, appreciate you having us on. And I want to preference as well that a lot of people see my stuff. Tristan as well is definitely the backbone of it. So he helps with a lot of stuff. I'm on here speaking for us today. So I have been, geez, we started right when Pinnacle started, like right on that first birth date. So been around for two years. 2025 last year, that was my first full calendar year outside of college. Team wise, we're doing record month in March. We had 430,000 as far as team volume. And then personal, I do have a goal. I have it on social media there. I have to. I'm announcing it so it's public. So I have to hit President's Club this year. If I do, get Jonas McLaren for a day. If I don't, I got to shave my head, and I do not want to shave my head.
No, you don't. You
No, so
definitely don't.
that's where we're at. We feel like just recently kind of finally figured it out on the team side of things. We were stuck. I know we talked with Gabe a lot and you, Joe. We were stuck at 150,000 team agency wise for so long, and we could not get over that curve. And I know you guys kind of talk about like that hockey stick trajectory where we finally kind of hit it. We were stuck at 150 in the matter of like 3 months. We went from like 150 to around 200 all the way up to 430.
I mean, bro, until you've experienced what that, I mean, dude, it feels like an immovable object when you're in that kind of like the doldrums of you're stuck at a specific number. And then you finally have the breakthrough. And hindsight's always 2020. You can look back and you figure out like what it actually was. And I'll steal one of Paul's lines. He says it all the time. Now I've been saying it all the time. And Gabe keeps making fun of me when I say it when Paul's not around. He's like, see, Paul's here in spirit. But Paul always says, what you think is sometimes isn't, what you think isn't sometimes is. And it's very, very true. It's so true inside of our businesses. And so we kind of create our own obstacles in our own minds that create the wrong habits, or sometimes it's not even bad habits. We're just not doing enough of the right habits, and we kind of get stuck. So now that you guys have come through that kind of hurdle of that 150, which you guys were there for a long time. You didn't just like get past it. You guys have blown past it. When you look back now, Chase, like what were some of the things that were holding you guys back?
I would say the number one thing, Osborne spoke about it at conference, was kind of being afraid to lead or stepping into the next arena. I would say is the biggest thing for us. I think we were afraid to have our own subset culture, subculture. Um, I think it really boiled down to like the leadership aspect. We recruited at a lot higher level. Like we've obviously turned the jets on as far as recruiting. And we can kind of dive into that, like the content stuff and how I go about like the messages we're sending out. Because I know that's obviously most people's goal with this is to build a team as everyone should.
Yeah, we'll definitely hit on that. But before we get to any of that, we got a lot of new faces on. It's been really exciting the last several months, man. Like I get a report every Monday morning on, and nowadays, right? AI is literally sending me a report every Monday, which is really cool. But I get to see like who had a record week in production, who was a first-time writer, who had their first 5K week, 10K week, 20K week, and dude, it's just getting like obnoxious in a good way. Like I'm put this out in the universe like in a good way. I want to see much more of it. I want it to be more and more and more obnoxious. But dude, you guys are getting agents moving as you're recruiting. Like, this is important for everybody to keep their finger on the pulse of their own business. It's not just getting bodies in the door, it's actually converting the people that you're bringing into the business
Yep.
to producing agents so that they're winning, right? And you got to keep your mindset on the right thing. It's not just about how many people can I recruit and how big could I grow my team. No, how many agents can I change their lives? Like how could I be an impact player in somebody else's story? I'm not the main character in anybody else's story but my own. But how could I be the best supporting actor in somebody else's story and help them win and get what they want? I think you guys are doing a really good job of that. So speak to the new agents that are listening. There's a lot of them on this call. And this will be valuable if you're a new agent listening in, and it'll be super valuable if you want to build a team and you want to help other people win. Chase, what are you seeing? If you had, and take your time here, 5, 10 minutes, whatever you need, the agents that come in that are winning, the agents that come in and they really struggle, what's the difference? And how do we make sure that we get agents winning at the highest level? What do we do?
Yeah. No, good question. I said that's something that was our biggest struggle, getting agents in the door and actually getting them winning at a high level. Now that they're winning at a high level, if I had to speak, because obviously there's probably have quite a few on this call, directly at new agents. So I've made a few videos on this. Let's say it's your first 90 to 180 days. That is obviously it's 100% going to be the hardest part with inside the business. Um, what we've really worked on, and Tristan and I, we have one-on-ones with all of our agents and kind of set an expectation coming in. So if you're a brand new agent, A, the one thing I see, we'll go on the failing side as well. For the people that kind of are not figuring it out, what a lot of new agents do, I see this all the time, analysis paralysis. You are going to overcomplicate it where deep down they know the answer. Like there's a saying one mentor taught me where it's Navy SEAL versus a baby SEAL. You
Hmm.
can always choose like deep down, you know what the Navy SEAL activity is, but then you go in and you choose the baby SEAL activity. Now, what can that be as like a new agent? The number one priority when you get in the door and what we're setting for our guys, I want you getting paid as fast as possible. So how do we get them paid as fast as possible? The agents that do it the wrong way will look for anything and everything to do besides dial,
Right.
besides pick up the phone. So what that can look like, oh, well, Joe, let me go mess around on the CRM. It's midday. It's supposed to be dial day. It's something they can set up at night. Let me go try to set up the CRM. Or like a lot of you'll want to do this, and you're never going to feel, I guess, prepared to get on the phones, is what I tell our guys. You're not going to have enough product knowledge. So that's some of your guys' thoughts, where it's, oh, I don't know the insurance yet, Joe.
I got
I'm
to
not
know
sure.
more. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got to know.
I got to know more. And like another comparison I always use, it's if you're watching the GOAT, right? If you're watching LeBron on YouTube or studying his film,
Well, let's argue about that for a second, but continue. Go ahead.
we can go into, I get into it with my dad a lot about that one, but um, you can't just sit there and watch highlights of him. So as in a lot of you want to be there like, okay, I want to hear more reps on the phone. I want to hear other people dial. That's good. That's stuff you can do outside of money making activity, aka dial hours. You need to get on the phone and make phone calls. The number one priority is getting on the phone and getting yourself paid. So I think that's what we have set more of like an example of. Hey, here's what we're going to do. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. As well as the quality of people we're bringing on as far as hiring. So I blame myself when first starting to recruit and wanting to build an agency. We'd take anyone and everyone, and I would maybe show the opportunity better than it was, like half the industry does, right? Where they're LARPing or showing fake numbers and stuff like that. Um, Setting like the expectations for agents. Hey, this is going to be one of the harder things you do. It doesn't have to be. You could make really, really good money in this industry and you can do it fairly quick in comparison to any other business. Will it be hard? Yes. So we're setting the expectation like, hey, you have to treat this like a business. If you treat it like a business, it will pay you like a business. If you treat it like a W-2 or a side hustle, I'm directly talking to all new agents on this call. If you think you can get away with a part-time schedule or you're going to maybe manage a different job while trying to do this, yes, it's scary. I promise you, you are shooting yourself in the foot. If you just go all in, so that's one thing we're really pushing on agents, like, hey, if you need to fly out to South Dakota, you want to live with me, by all means, I need you to go all in for 90 days. Be a student of the game, obsess over it. This is, just once again, it's not a job, it's a business, something you
Yeah.
develop skill. It's a skill-based industry. Obsess over it as a new agent, guys, and just, I mean, that's YouTube. That's what I like calling doing extras. Like, what's an extra I can do every day? I can make my phone calls. Okay, what's an extra I can do? I can put up 3 to 5 TikToks and then Instagram posts to build my business. Personal brand goes a long way. An extra for you guys as a new agent. Let me go home at night instead of watching other YouTube. Let me throw on a mortgage protection video on YouTube and start learning stuff like that. So that hopefully that answers your question a little
That
bit.
definitely helps you. It helps a ton. I want to add a couple of quick thoughts and then we'll move on. Gabe, Paul, add whatever you want. But you brought up when you started building in the beginning, you were just essentially hiring anybody with a pulse, right? And the truth is that comes from a scarcity mindset for all of us and every builder. If you've not recruited before or tried to build a business with direct salespeople, we've all made the same mistake. And what you figure out is that when you kind of paint with a broad brush what the business really is, A, you're not being honest with yourself about, expectations for your own business. Therefore, you're not being honest with the people that you're recruiting and you're setting false expectations for them. And now that enables all the people that you're bringing in to lie to themselves and not set proper expectations for themselves. So I think a big part of it, I just try and convince everybody, just be honest with yourself. What do you actually want and what are you willing to do to get it? Because anything that you want that's worth having is going to be a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of sacrifice. It's going to take longer than you think. That doesn't mean it's not worth it. It's always worth it in the end if you really, really want it. But you got to be honest with yourself first. So I talk to a new agent, Chase. I always go, hey, what are you? Are you a $10,000 producer? Are you a $20,000? Are you a $50,000 producer? Are you a $100,000 producer? Well, most people aren't going to say to you, "Oh, I'm only a $10,000 a month producer." So they're going to tell you, "No, I'm really, really good. I work really hard." Like I've never had an interview with anybody. They were like, "I'm really lazy. I like to take shortcuts. I'm a cheater, and I'm full of you know what." No, nobody ever, ever, ever says that. So they always set the expectation that they're going to be the greatest to ever do it, like MJ, not LeBron. And so they kind of make that point. That was for you, Chase. You're welcome. But once they've said it, right, that's on them, not on me. So now what they've said is gold, what I say is suspect. That's how sales works. They've said it. Now I have the opportunity to fully explain what it's going to actually look like for them to become a top producer. And I'm not going to sugarcoat, I'm not going to fluff anything. Like, this is what the first 6 months, 9 months in this business is going to look like. And dude, I genuinely try and scare them off at that point Because if you can do all of that and they still want it, then you know you got the right person. You go, well, Joe, what? I just scare everybody off? No, you're scaring off the wrong ones. If you have 10 conversations and you could scare off nine of them, then you were only supposed to have the one anyway. And now you got your roster and the bandwidth inside your business is still got plenty of space for more of the right ones. Get rid of the scarcity mindset. Got to get rid of that. You can't win with that. And you got to have this bountiful, it's the easiest thing to recruit to life insurance. So for anybody listening, you think that's the hard part? That's not the hard part. Recruiting the right people to insurance is the hard part, and it gets a lot easier when you clear the deck from all the wrong people. So anyway, Paul, Gabe, anything you want to add to that before we move on?
Yeah. Weird. AI just added something in the chat. Weird. I'm trying to read what it says. Michael Jordan, 6 championships. LeBron James, 4 championships. Six is more than four. Anyway, unrelated. Chase, you said something really good earlier, dude, that I want. And it's actually so funny hearing it from you. Cause dude, anyone listening to you now, like, bro, you're dialed in. Like the way you lay it out, obviously the way you're recruiting. And dude, there's nothing about you that makes me feel like you're unsure or not confident in yourself. And so you said it at the beginning. I want to go back because I feel like it locks in all the good content that you're saying, where you're saying there was a sense of me where I was afraid to lead. And can you elaborate on that and like one, how you feel like it was affecting you, and two, how you changed it, dude? Because dude, nothing about you
Yeah.
hearing you right now makes me feel like you're afraid to lead.
Well, here's the reality. I'm most people based off my content. They know I'm transparent. I can't not tell it how it is. It's just how I am. I think everyone will be like everyone has they are afraid to lead a little bit. That's like human nature. It's uncomfortable. You're stepping into the next arena. Like, don't get me wrong. Start of this call, was I probably a little nervous seeing 250 people on here? Yes. As soon as Joe texted me yesterday, I knew, or yesterday to jump on this call, I knew I had no other option. I'm like, ugh, maybe I wish he didn't text me, but yes, I have to say yes to that. Why would I not? Um, at the same time, kind of to go back into that, you might be a little guys like afraid to lead. You have to understand that you may know more than someone else, I guess is the best way to put that. Look at numbers, like look at who's growing and stuff like that. And if you have higher numbers than someone else, or if you've done this and you've made a good amount of income within the industry, do not be afraid to lead. I mean, that's really all I have for it. It might be a little uncomfortable for you, Gabe, or for agents and people. You gotta get out of your comfort zone.
I love that, dude. That's money.
Yeah, the one thing I was going to say, guys, because Chase, we had a chance to meet about a week ago. I met you and Tristan, and I agree 100% with Gabe. Like, dude, you just came across and exuberated just like this confidence, man, like almost like quiet confidence. It wasn't like boisterous confidence, loud confidence. It was just this quiet confidence that for me was just attractive, just to your nature and your character, right? Like I wanted to have a conversation with you because you just exuberated this quiet confidence, and I think that as everybody's listening, some things that I'm writing down here is like, kind of piecing together like what I believe leads to that. And I think you talked about it. Like for one, it's consistency. Like I would assume that you are just consistent. Like you work a very diligent and disciplined schedule. The second thing that you talked about was transparency. Like you're just transparent. You're a transparent leader. And then authenticity, where you're just an authentic person. And those are three things, guys, that are not a sexy thing. Like nobody like describes somebody as consistent. You're like, oh my gosh, that's a great word, right? But it's such an important thing. Consistency, authenticity, and transparency, because everybody on here, brand new or a veteran, you have the ability to go out there and exuberate all three of those things that build confidence. And then people want to be led by a confident person. And I think that's what you're talking about, Chase. The one thing that I wanted to ask you is because, oftentimes in this business, emotions can be what leads you, right? Like in that, maybe in the beginning, it's that kind of timidity of being a leader, right? Stepping out, like thinking about what other people are going to think if I post, or like you're leading by emotions. It's the way you feel. And like Joe said, it could be a scarcity emotion, right? How do you step out? And this comes in the beginning, but then also you might overcome it, but then it comes back, right? Emotions are always there. And for anybody, right? Even if you're going from 1 million a month to 2 million a month, there's different emotions that will creep in, between that gap. How do you not let your emotions lead? And then how do you lead by execution, not by emotions? Like, how have you done that throughout the last, I guess 2 years?
Yeah, good question. I would say, going right back into your point, consistency. Um, I find myself when if I do, I think I do a pretty good job of managing it, and I think our agents would say that as well. Obviously, at times it feels like there can be a lot on my plate. The best thing I can do in order for me to manage that stress is work more. Like, I am my most stressed when I don't get to sit down and work. So, consistency, I would say it really boils down to my schedule. I like to challenge all our guys. I talk a little smack to them. I'm like, you can't outwork me. You can't outwork me. You're not putting in more hours than me. So that's how I regulate it. It's consistency, I would say.
I would also say consistency is super sexy because I mean, super. If you are, it is, Paul. Maybe I'm saying
I
that.
think it is. I just don't think it
That's
sounds
like the
sexy.
greatest thing I have going
Yeah.
for me. So I want to think I'm sexy. Maybe I'm
You are
biased. I
sexy.
don't
It just
know.
doesn't sound sexy. It's not the adjective you would choose,
I'm
right?
just messing around. But like in all seriousness, think about this, guys, in terms of the business that you want to have. If you had a producer that is consistently producing $30,000 a month, and like you've got 2 years of receipts, they got 30 to 35K every month, come hell or high water, versus you have somebody that puts up the 80K month once in a while, then they vanish for 2 months. Dude, I'll take that 30K producer all day, every day, hands down, over the person that maybe, they got more talent but they're not consistent in their habits. That also, by the way, from a leadership standpoint, like your people know if you're consistent as a leader. Are you consistent with your emotion regulation, which is huge? I hate when people are like, oh man, I'm not emotional as a leader. Dude, you're full of crap. Everybody's emotional. Some of us can regulate our emotion better than others, right? But we're all emotional human beings. Uh, those of us that learn how to manage that are more consistent in how we respond and react to different situations. And that consistency over time, guess what it produces? It produces trust. You become more predictable. Predictability is a good thing. Predictability comes from consistency. So, just Paul, I wasn't correcting you, by the way. I agree. It doesn't sound sexy, but it's like the
But it
sexiest
is. Yeah.
thing ever to me, bro.
I agree. I agree.
That gets me going.
I agree.
So anyway, Chase, um, back to it. As you've got as you've got a foothold now on the leadership side of this business, and dude, you're right. It is really uncomfortable because you're putting yourself out there, and it's a little bit scary because when you put yourself in a leadership position, you're not just responsible for your own income anymore, and you're not just responsible for yourself. You got a lot of other people counting on you, and so the decisions feel heavier. There's no doubt about it. You're like, hey, I got to really take my time because if I make the wrong move, it negatively impacts other people. So that's the scary part of it, right? Then you figure out over time, like, well, wait a second. If I feel this desire to lead, one of my first mentors said this. Said, Joe, good leadership always stems from good fellowship. So the best leaders on the planet, guess what, dude? They still have leaders. And if they can be coachable and they can be teachable, they're always learning new things. The job of a leader really is to grab information and give information. And that kind of alleviates a lot of pressure. At least for me, it does. Like, I don't want to be the single point of failure for anybody ever. I'm a conduit of information. I'm a conduit of knowledge. I'm a conduit that needs to be the right example in work ethic, emotional regulation, conflict resolution, all these different things. But at the end of the day, we're an independent business setup, meaning, I can't control, Chase, how hard you're going to work. I can't control what your calendar looks like. I can't control how much you're spending on leads. I can't control whether or not you're on the phone dialing when you say you're supposed to be on the phone dialing. That's up to you. My job is to give you the blueprint for your business and then reinforce it and then give you more information as you hit new levels. But the rest is on you. And that kind of alleviates a lot of pressure. I want to pivot now because, bro, you are doing like really cool things on social media. I see like insurance content all day, every day, like I'm sure the rest of us do. Uh, Without a doubt, dude, I think you're doing it the best of anyone that I've seen, like, period, in the insurance space right now. So take some time, dive deep on that. Where do you think, if you were giving me advice, treat me like I'm your mentee.
Yeah.
What does that need to look like for me to have the same results that you're having?
Okay. I'm gonna go back to like when I started that page. So I started on, I'll give the direct formula that I use right now. There's really no rocket science to it, but um, started on TikTok. So old backstory for anyone who doesn't know, I used to have a TikTok with like 150, 200,000 followers. Like when I was growing up in high school, that was for like crypto and other financial content. So I knew I wanted to post my insurance content just because I wanted to build. So I think the main thing for everyone starting, it is uncomfortable. Like it took me, I prolonged it for 6 months. I should have started it right when I got in the industry. I started it at the start of 2025. How that helped me as an agent, as like a new agent, my numbers weren't that great. I wanted to make more on the personal side of selling. It held me accountable. So this is besides the recruiting stuff, held me accountable. I told myself I will post a video every single day showing my numbers. What did I submit? What did I make? That's the number one thing. Transparency. I I'm not a fan of a lot of, and I make fun of it sometimes. I'm not a fan of a lot of the insurance content out there where I think everyone on this call, you're in a really special spot with Pinnacle. Because if we were being 100% transparent, the industry sometimes on the outside, like me as an outsider looking in back when I was in college, South Dakota, everything's corporate, not a lot of sales stuff. Like, Pinnacle does a really, really good job being the opposite of the rest of the industry as far as how professional they look. The corporate side, but still having autonomy over your business. It's 100% your business, which is the beauty of it. So leverage Pinnacle. If I had to rewind, I would do that more. So if I had to step by step, I would post a video every single day. Don't watch the video. A lot of you are like, you're gonna watch the video and delete the video and not want to post it. Film the video. I set my phone up sometimes when I just get in a groove and I get talking. I'll do like 15, 20 videos at one time. It takes
Really?
15 minutes.
Okay.
And I've had a lot of people like ask me, like, where are you getting the script? Are you like chat GTPing it? I just share my thoughts. And you can tell, hopefully, that it's just,
It's
as Nick
real talk.
O'Fonnell's, yeah, unapologetically me. So share your own thoughts, have your own opinions about things. Opinions are good. And my number one piece, don't be the expert right away. You have to show a journey. You have to show real numbers. Someone on the outside, they want to see you come into the industry, maybe struggle, because then they realize it's real, and then slowly start seeing progress. Make more, make more, make more. And that's what I kind of have all our guys starting to do. Show the real journey, show real income. Everyone knows some of us know on TikTok or Instagram, his name was, I believe, Hub's Life. He did the 9 to 5 content. So he would go there and he would post his 9 to 5 every day, his content. And then all of a sudden he got pretty wealthy from it, where he no longer had to work 9 to 5. And then he got completely canceled because that content, it didn't resonate with those people anymore. Like they were looking for that specific style. They wanted to see the struggle, the ugliness of the 9 to 5 in some cases. And then he quit posting that. So people, they want to see real stuff and they can tell when it's real stuff. Um, and then actual like recipe for it. I post, I would say like 3 to 5 times a day on average. The algorithms have changed where it's quantity over quality. Like, and they're still typically don't put bad videos out, but quantity. For some of you younger guys on like Instagram or TikTok, there's like a Brez Scales or there's TJR, those influencers that are doing really, really well in the virtual sales space, post like 30 times a day. Every video is like its own little lottery ticket. The algorithm, it doesn't just go to your followers anymore. It gets dispersed everywhere. So every single video of you talking or putting something out there, that is a little lottery ticket where other people can see that and you attract income or recruits or more money. So post 3 to 5 times a day. And then I might as well go into it. I'll share how I have more conversations. I have a Pinnacle VA, or a lot of you have dialers or VAs. This is stuff you can have them do as little extras, like a little task they have to do before signing off for the day. TikTok and Instagram, now it's kind of catered. So people, that's why I like posting on TikTok first, and then my VA reposts it over to Instagram. People on TikTok, it's a For You page. You build your own For You page, right? So they see someone who's looking into insurance is going to see my stuff. If you guys are in insurance, you're going to see my stuff. So I will have my VA Abby, or you can have your dialer if you guys have dialers, go through anyone who has viewed your profile for the day or maybe liked one of your videos. I just send one little drip campaign to them. She starts the conversation for me. So she does 40 of those a day on TikTok and 40 on Instagram. So I have 80 new conversations a day. Does everyone answer? No. All it is, it says, what company do you work with? And then I just take the conversation from there. A lot of people have scripts and it's like, comes off as like the insurance bro who's DMing you. I just have an open conversation with them. So that's the content roadmap.
What I love about you, bro, everything is like simple and matter of fact, which is like the game. That's the consistency part of it, dude. People overcomplicate things, but if you keep it simple, you don't even have to be that good. That's the beauty of it. You could be average, but if you do more of it than everybody else, you're going to win disproportionately. And by the way, you are very good at it. That wasn't a shot at you. Your content is really, really good.
Yeah.
How many you send out 80 total DMs a day, 40 on TikTok, 40 on Instagram, what is what you're saying? How many people respond?
From seeing my stuff, I would say I at least get half to respond. So on average right now, and this was all organically. I don't push anything out there. I'll talk about ads, but we just turned those on. Was doing no ads prior, no spend towards Meta or anything. Probably having 15 recruiting calls a week. So if we're talking the recruiting side as well, because I know that is a lot of people's goal, as it should be. No one wants to sell insurance till they're 65. So it should be your goal, or at least to generate some bit of other income off mentoring. And that's what I love about this. That's kind of my why, is taking young men in a little bit tougher financial situation and being able to show them a roadmap out of it. That I love that. So you have to I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but you have to treat the recruiting game also like a lead, where it's reps. It is reps, it's reps, it's reps, it's industry fact. Pinnacle has a lot better statistic on this, but industry wide, 9 out of 10 people quit most likely within their first 9 months. So you have to understand it's a numbers game. That's what I want to push on Pinnacle and us leaders all a little bit more, is go recruit and get more aggressive about building your team and do it quicker. One, two, three recruiting calls a month or week. Those is not like, you can do way more. That is just not enough volume. If you have those goals, the work has got to be, I always tell our guys, the work has to be more delusional than your goal.
Chase, could I add something to that to kind of drive
Yeah.
that point? This, like, on the vein of keeping it simple, the only time a sales team, sales organization grows is when they're recruiting more people than the natural attrition for that industry. Like, it's that simple. So people try to, like, oh, I just want quality, quality, quality. Well, yeah, we all want the highest quality recruits possible. Like nobody sets out, I'm gonna go bring in a ton of people that aren't gonna make it. No, like everybody wants nothing but quality, but you can't, it's not like you can just go recruit high talented, hardworking, honest people with integrity. They're gonna work their tails off and they're all gonna be successful. That's not reality. Reality is you're gonna have to kiss some toads before you find the prince. And the best news is it's like, dude, when you first start, Chase, your first few weeks on the phones, you're probably working your tail off trying to get into conversations and close some insurance policies. There ain't no doubt. You're probably working at the same pace today on the phones selling insurance, but you've gotten so much better through all the repetition. And it's like the same exact thing is true when you start recruiting. You're never going to be worse at it than you are right now when you start recruiting. And so you're going to miss opportunities. You're going to talk to talented people, but you're not good enough yet to get the top talented people. They're going to go somewhere else. You're going to get all frustrated, want to stop recruiting. No, that's when you double down and you recruit more so that you get good enough in that new sale, because recruiting is nothing more than a different sales process that you probably just haven't done a whole lot of yet. Once you get better at that sales process, you start closing at a much higher percentage. And the difference is over time, the quality of recruit that you close gets better and your attrition rate gets lower. You guys, hopefully you followed all of that, but like that's how you build a business over time. All right, Gabe, Paul, anything you want to add? Fill in the gaps.
I'm glad Cameron put it in the chat, dude. That quote you gave is fire. The work has to be more delusional than your goal. I love that so much because people reverse it, don't they? They have this huge goal, and then like you said, Chase, talking to two, three people a week is just not going to cut it. So I think to echo Joe, like your very simple, pragmatic way of looking at it is the way to do it.
Keep it simple. Paul, anything you want to add?
I mean, I think that for one, this is like a master class for anybody that's maybe been holding on to things that have been keeping them from that breakthrough moment is in my mind. As I'm listening through it all and taking notes, it's like, Chase, there's so many people that, they kind of buy into a lie. And if you buy into a lie long enough, it'll affect you as if it's true, right? Funny story, like I've got way too many kids. And so it was like, I don't know, a couple years back, one of my daughters had the other daughter, the door closed and they're screaming. And I'm like, why are they screaming for? So I go upstairs because it sounds like they're, one of my daughters is getting terrorized and she's behind, she's in a room. And I said to Penelope, like, why is she screaming for? She's like, well, because she thinks the door's locked. I told her the door was locked. I said, well, the door can't be locked. You can't lock it from the outside. It's locked from the inside. She's like, I know, but she don't know that, and she's freaking out. So she's screaming about what the environment she's in and how she feels stuck, but she's behind an unlocked door. And I think a lot of times that's the case for a lot of agents in our space. They really want to go out there and step into these new levels and step into financial freedom and to run a massive business and to have a schedule that they love, but they're stuck behind this unlocked door. They think what it is so much bigger and this needs to take place. They need to get better at social media. They need to take a 7.5 week AI course that's going to help them build out, funnels and platforms and all these different things. It's like, dude, you're stuck behind an unlocked door. The truth is just unlock the door. And I think, oftentimes, Chase, like it's calls like this where they're kind of like, oh shoot, the door is unlocked. I just gotta twist the knob and walk through it. And I think this has been a call for me. It made me think of that. And I think a lot of people maybe on here, they've got this breath of fresh air of like, wow, so you mean to tell me I just have to be consistent? You mean to tell me, Chase, there's not this crazy like formula that's led you to do this? You just have to do it day in and day out and be very consistent with it. And the answer is yes. But by the way, this is more applicable now than ever before because there's so many people just given the season that we're in that are already looking at our space. And Chase, you said it's so great. Like quantity beats quality. Quality also comes from quantity. So you're going to get better, but you don't, stifle or shorthand your quantity when the quality gets better. You just end up having a better result, right? Because you continue to do it. But quantity is so essential, guys. Like just being the person that everybody's out there. There's so many people looking at this space. Like the one that exposes the most people to it is ultimately going to win. Not the best sales trainer, not the best producer, not the best coach. Like Pinnacle's already got that stuff in place that's going to help run as the filter to lead you to the one that's going to become your next top producer. It ain't going to be you. You are not the magic. So therefore, if you're not the magic, well, guess what? All those lies that you've been building up thinking that you have to become something or do something, well, now those are gone. You're not the magic. All you have to do is aggressively, nonstop, put the disciplined work ethic in and do it day in and day out and not get worried and doing well because in 90 days, you'll probably reap that season or that harvest if you don't lose hope. And so a question I've got for you, Chase, because, you know, um, I think that there may be people on here, I know that I fall into this a lot, where it's like they're capable of a lot more, right? They're capable of doing a lot more, but they're hesitating. What would you tell that person that is capable of a lot more, but they continue to hesitate?
Yeah, I'll probably have a pretty simple answer for that one. Once again, it will be uncomfortable. I think the one thing we're really talking about as far as the hesitation, a lot of people are hesitant about the content. So if I can directly address that, all of you have your own little personal story or something to share that makes you special. You have to post that, and it will be uncomfortable. I have no solution for that, Paul. And they're all going to want to hesitate. You just have to do that. You have to take that leap of faith. So hopefully after this call, content wise, every single person at Pinnacle, as a little army at Pinnacle, kind of can align together and just help each other by everyone posting. Like, who are these Pinnacle guys posting all this content? But everyone on here
That's it.
should have their own little page, and you just have to post. Just do it. I challenge everyone to do it.
Very good.
Very, very good. Chase, I love you, bro. This is a good call. I'm gonna get 2 t-shirts made. It's gonna be in the Pinnacle merch store, like ASAP. MJ is the GOAT is the first, and the second,
Oh,
consistency is sexy. And I'm gonna wear that every day. I'm gonna just wear it every day. Guys, really, really excited. We got a big week ahead. We had a massive week last week. Let's keep our foot on the gas. I'm going to take Chase's words. I want to see a bunch of little, I like the little, you throw in those littles. That's great, Chase. I want to see a bunch of little social media pages. I want to see a ton of content. And you all have a story, to Chase's point. And everybody's story is different. Everybody's story is different. So share your story, and you're going to start attracting the people for your business that you're going to make the most impact with. So let's go on a recruiting spree and help a lot of people financially, help a ton of clients financially. And also, you're going to get helped in the process. So, Chase, thanks again, brother. This was a great call. Gabe, Paul, appreciate you.
yeah.
Mike, giving
Thanks for having me.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Chase.
guys, let's
Yeah,
have a massive
guys.
week. Talk to you guys soon.